Hi everyone, welcome. This is Eric Rodebois, 5 Minutes with Eric. I have a really cool story about trademarks. So we do a lot of trademark registrations because we work with a lot of business owners, and it's actually one of my favorite areas of law. It's one of my favorite areas of law to do, to talk about, to think about. It's like this convergence between branding and marketing and law and art. You know, we deal with designs and cool just images and notions. And so, and your brand for a company is so essential, right? If Coca-Cola changed its name tomorrow and was selling the exact same flavored beverage with a new name, they'd have to start from scratch because they have generations of built-up goodwill of grandparents teaching parents teaching their children about their experiences with Coca-Cola, or the same for McDonald's, or the same for any of the great American brands that we know about. And so most of our clients are entrepreneurs. We're in Miami, Florida, the entrepreneurial capital of the world. I look that way because I see Brickell, I see downtown, and I think of how many businesses there are, how many one-man, one-woman, one-kid shops where they just have a dream and an idea, and what it comes down to is branding that dream and that idea. Okay, well, I have spent a lot of time, and I'm very proud of it, branding EPGD Attorneys at Law. EPGD Business Law will be trademarked any minute now at the USPTO. Now, this is the point of my story. There are different categories of goods and services. We call them classes. And the classes come from an international treaty called the Nice Agreement. And in the Nice Agreement, basically all the civilized industrial countries of the world got together and they said, listen, let's harmonize all of our trademark systems so that Category 45, which is legal services, is the same in France as it is in Russia, as it is in Canada, as it is in Mexico, as it is in Guatemala, as it is in the United States. Languages might be different, but if I know that it's a trademark under Category 45, then I know that it's Category 45. So when clients come to us, most of the time what we do is we say, okay, what's the brand? And a lot of times they've already built their brand and they've been going for a couple years and they want to now invest in trademarking it so that they have more protection. They have access to federal courts. They have access to attorney's fees. If they want to sue someone, they have nationwide protection. If they want to go international, it's much better to take a registered US trademark and then take it to the foreign countries, because all of those countries that are members of that same Nice Agreement, the treaty, they have an agreement. They say, all right, if you've already registered in France, and as long as there's not a conflict here in the United States, it's a quick registration vis-a-vis like starting from scratch. Okay, so when we meet with people, we say, what's your brand? Do you want to use just the words, or is the logo really important to you? Words versus design, those are the two things that we look at. And most importantly, what are you doing? Okay, like what are you doing? Describe to me the goods and services you currently sell or that maybe you want to sell. And so the reason is because when you register the brand, you register it under the category. So I'm under Category 45. I could imagine that there could be a shoe shiner out there, or a technology company, or a dishware company, or a beer company that is also named EPGD. But guess what? I don't think an average consumer would be confused between EPGD shoe shining and EPGD business law. Right? That's the argument. And so we were searching. In fact, what happened was a true story. I went to a networking event and I got a card. And the card was a very common, but I think well-known name. And I'll say it out loud. It's BlackRock, which, by the way, we're just taking two regular words and they put them together. BlackRock. And so BlackRock, I'm like, I think I've heard of that. And just because I'm curious, I go onto the USPTO website and you can do a search, and I did a search for BlackRock. Turns out there are 50 applications ever that have the word BlackRock combined as one thing in the thing. So you can see all applications, whether they were approved or denied. And so it turns out that about 5 or 6 of them are all different variations, BlackRock Consulting, BlackRock Financial, BlackRock whatever, that are all owned by the same company out of Delaware. And so I'm flipping through, and I see one called BlackRock Petroleum. I also see like BlackRock Grill. And guess what? BlackRock Grill is in the restaurant category. They also did utensils, which is Category 21. And so there's no conflict between financial services and utensils, right? So that's why we can have two BlackRocks that are completely different, that are registered. One's financial services, one is utensils. The business card I had was financial services. So then I find BlackRock Petroleum. BlackRock Petroleum was doing petroleum, like oil and gas exploration, whatnot. They didn't have any of the same categories as the financial people. I dug in deeper. It turns out that the government reviewed it and they didn't find a problem. They didn't raise a red flag. Usually the government will be the first red flag. They'll do a likelihood of confusion. But the BlackRock consultants challenged them in what's called an opposition action, and the cause of action, if there is one, what it's described, is dilution by blurring. What they said is, we don't want to confuse the average person out there who might be confused that BlackRock Petroleum is like a subsidiary of BlackRock Financial. So anyways, I could talk about this forever. This is just 5 minutes with Eric. Thank you so much. Let's talk more about trademarks very soon. Bye.